Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. My name is Ty Canyon and I'm the founder and owner of 3D Decor RVK, a 3D printing business I started a little over a year ago. My business specializes in making custom 3D printed models, and we also sell 3D printing consumables and also 3D printers. If you want to know more about us, you can check out our website at www.3ddecorrvk.com. Today I'm going to give a review on a new 3D printer to hit the market, and it is the BIBO2 Touch, which is manufactured by the SC BIBO company in China. The printer is very well put together. The machine has some very nice features that any 3D printing enthusiast will appreciate. However, there were some minor issues with it at first, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit. The upside to this was that the customer service at SC BIBO is top-notch, and they were very helpful and responsive to my emails, Skype messages, WhatsApp messages, you name it, until we got things rolling. So big up to Brayden and Sammy for all your help. Now that we've gotten all the intros and accolades accomplished, let's begin with the review. All right, so first thing I'm gonna go over is everything you get and how it comes out of the box. Now, I wanted to do an open box review, but I wasn't sure how the parts were going to come, if the printer was going to be fully assembled, if I was going to have to do any type of assembly with it, which I did, obviously. But I think it's better to do a review with it already completely installed and completely operational, so that way you guys can, get an idea of what the finished product looks like. So the first thing, obviously, that you notice in the box is the actual 3D printer. It was about 70% assembled. The extruder obviously was well wrapped and everything, so you had to install that. The top part of it, which you can see here, that was not put together. I had to put that together myself, and if you purchase this printer, you will have to do that yourself. Not a difficult task at all. Just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of espresso, so no bigs there. The front door on the printer, that was not installed either. You had to install that as well. And then on the back, which I'm going to show that in a little bit, the filament spool holders, that also wasn't installed. Neither was the extruder stopper motors either. And again, I'm going to get into all that in a little bit, but just wanted to give you a brief rundown as to how everything was when it came. So let's set this back down. All right, so there's that. All right, now let's keep going over what came in the box. Now, the SD card that came with the printer has everything you need to get started. It includes the instruction manuals for the printer and laser engraver, which I'll also get into in a bit. The 3D print software, the app for Wi-Fi printing, and so much more. The laser engraver obviously comes with the printer. And a pair of protective eyewear as well for your engraving purposes. So there was so much more that came with the printer, as far as instructions, as far as software, as far as extra parts. I could go on and on, but for the sake of brevity, I'm going to keep this rolling. All right, now everything was packed pretty well. However, there were some issues with the X and Y axis stopper motors. And they were bent. Somehow they got bent during transfer or transport. But I contacted BIBO and got that resolved. Now, the actual issue was, since they were bent, the stopper motors, the stopper wouldn't stop. So the extruder and on both axes, it would just keep going and would make this loud grinding noise. And it was very, very annoying and very, very scary, because I thought the thing was messed up. But turned out to be a minor thing. We got the stopper motors straightened up, and now it works. Now it works great. So no worries there. All right, so let's keep it moving. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start up the printer. Show you what happens when it comes on. So there it is. I'm gonna move down here, show you. Now, when it comes on, it's very quiet, very, very nice sounding as far as the motor, as far as the fans go. So, got no issues there. All right, now let's take a look at the on-screen menu. I'm not gonna go through all of the, through the entire menu, because I've got to keep this video short. But as you can see, there's 8 different settings you can control here. You got your preheat settings. You got your move setting, to where you can move just part of you can move the extruder a certain direction. You can move the print bed a certain height. So that's basically what that's for. The home button is so you can home all of your accesses, your X, Y, and Z axis. You can move that using that button. The printing button, self-explanatory. You press that button, you can start printing via SD card if you have one installed in the printer. And I'm going to get into that in a second. Extrusion is where you load your filament. You load your filament using that button, and it also controls the extrusion temp. You can also control the extrusion temperature in there as well. The fan button is where you control the fans of your on your extruder, and the settings button is just a button for the settings of the printer. You can go through the. I'll just go in there. You got your file system settings, calibration, where you can calibrate the touch screen, the Wi-Fi settings, connect button, to where you can connect. You can set connect settings for your printer to your computer, so you can set the baud rates and things of that nature using that button. The about button just tells you what firmware version you're using, and the motor off button basically just shuts off the motor of the printer. So I'm going to back on up. All right. Now that we've gone over that, let's look at the outer parts of the printer. Now you've been looking at the door the entire video, so let's start with that. Very well put together door. Very easy to assemble as well. It's just 4 screws here, 2 there. Very easy to put together. So no worries there. Now we're going to look at the top. Here's your top there. Very well put together. It's just fiberglass. So it is kind of delicate, but very easy to put together. No problems there. Now let's take a look at the extruder. Extruder, it's got 3 fans on the front. This fan actually is for the entire printer, and then the 2 here for the actual extruders. And then of course this was not put together when it came. However, very easy setup instructions for the extruder. All right, now let's turn this thing to the side, show you the side view. There's nothing on the left side of the printer. Everything is on the right side. So right here, I'm gonna zoom in here for you. You got the SD card slot and the USB slot. So if you wanted to use a thumb drive or a SD card to do your prints, install firmware, whatever, you can use either one of those 2 to accomplish that. All right, now here's the USB connector. So if you want to connect this to your computer, or whatever, you can use this connect. You can use the cable that came with the printer, which is here. It uses a male-to-male USB cable, and you can do that with that. All right, now let's turn this around. Show you the back. First things first is the power button is back here, and the on-off switch is back here. So there's that. Very easy. Now let's talk about filament. All right, filament and extrusion actually. So right here is where your filament spools go. This is one of the filament spool holders, and there's the other one. All right, now here's one of the cool things about this printer. If you look here, there's a motor back here, or a stopper motor. This is in case you have an issue with your filament. Like a lot of times I've done thousands of 3D prints over the last year, and I've had a few issues with the filament getting tangled or whatever, the filament snapping off, you know, and that's just user error. That's just trial and error. You know, this is a new technology that a lot of us are learning, so you're gonna run across these issues. So, and by no means am I an expert in the field, so you're gonna have those issues. But the cool thing about this printer is that if you have that issue where the filament comes off or whatever, this motor will signal the printer and give a bunch of continuous beeps, and they're very, very annoying. But those beeps will tell you that you're having a filament issue and you need to check it. And once you reset that filament and you have it back online, those beeps will stop and your print will continue. And see, that's another great thing, is that other 3D printers that I have and have used, the print will become pretty much useless without this feature, because the filament will extrude, you know, wrong, or it won't extrude at all, but the print will continue. You know, those type of issues are no more with this printer. So that's one of the great things that I think is about this printer. So that's that as far as that goes. All right. So now that we've covered the outside of the printer and all that, let's go over some other accessories that comes with the printer. Now, I spoke earlier about a laser engraver. This printer comes with a laser engraver, so you can engrave just about anything with it. The only caveat to this is that you have to install it where the extruder is. So you just need to unscrew a couple screws on the bottom of the extruder and install this in its place. And then once you do that, you connect this cable to one of the fan connectors for the extruder. And then once you've done that, you can start engraving. The printer comes with software for laser engraving, or if you know of any software already that does that, I'm sure you could use that as well. And it also comes with a pair of protective eyeglasses. All right, so that's pretty much it. Now, as far as the printer goes, now there's other features of the printer that I like to get into, but I got to keep this video short. I will do a separate video on the extruder in due time. I don't know when that will be, but it will be very soon. Now let's just get down to the review. Now, as I mentioned before, there were some issues with the motors, stopper motors, but they got resolved pretty quick, and it wasn't a showstopper. And again, BIBO was very, very responsive to my messages, to my emails, to everything. And I just really appreciate all their help. This printer has been great to use. It's been a pleasure to use, actually. I have had no issues as far as printing goes. Just you just got to go through the print settings, make sure you're printing at the right temperature and things of that nature, and make sure you got your adhesion down, all that, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna give this BIBO2 Touch 5 out of 5 spools of filament. So instead of 5 stars, you get 5 spools of filament as far as that goes. So I just want to thank everyone for watching. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or want to give a shout out, please do. And please make sure you subscribe to our channel, 3D Decor RVK. And again, I would love to hear from anyone if they have anything to say. Again, thanks again, SC BIBO. You guys are great. And until we meet again, I want to thank you guys again, and we'll see you next time. Take care.